Hi, I'm SI. Welcome to my Slytherin makeup tutorial. Now, when I got sorted into my house on Pottermore, I got sorted into Slytherin, which I've always wanted to be a Slytherin girl. This was ages ago, of course. And so I was very excited that I actually got to be in Slytherin because I was like, guys, it's meant to be. I truly am a real Slytherin. So that was exciting. So today, in honor of all the Harry Potter stuff that is coming out newly this year, I'm going to teach you how to do a Slytherin makeup tutorial. So, two things to always remember to do before you start your makeup tutorial: put on any acne blocking or fighting cream, because you always want to have that on before you do your makeup so that way it has a chance to seep into the pores and actually do its job. The second thing you want to remember to do is to brush your teeth, because if you don't brush your teeth and you go to brush it after you do your makeup, the makeup around your mouth tends to come off, no matter how much mist and set or how much ever finishing powder you put on it. So it's just better to remember to do that before. Learn from experience there. Now, what I like to start with is I have a whole bunch of makeup products sitting next to me here on my bed, and this is an e.l.f. Eye Refresh. e.l.f. is eyes, lips, face makeup cosmetics. Absolutely adore them. Practically everything I own is e.l.f. It's just because it's cheap, but it's good quality makeup. So that's the good part. You don't have to spend a lot of money. So what you do with the Eye Refresh, I always like to put it just under my eyes here. So that way it removes part of that baggy look you get if you stay up till 2 in the morning like I tend to do. Yay! Alright, so now that you've got that on, you want to do face primers next. Now I have 3 different types here, and depending on what I'm doing that day, it depends on which one I wear. This one here is a white one by e.l.f. that's a face primer that also is a sunscreen. I'm not planning on being out in the sun today, so I am not going to put on my sunscreen primer. What I always like to do though is this one. It's a greenish blue color, probably like a turquoise, by e.l.f. as well. It's a hydrating face primer, and because my acne makeup that I put on, it dries out my skin. My skin's like really oily, and then I put that on and it dries it out, but then by the end of the day it's all oily again. I like to rehydrate the areas around my face that get really dry from putting that on, which is generally in the corners of my nose here and my T-zone into my eyebrows. And then for the rest of my face, today I will be using an illuminating face primer, which I haven't actually ever used before, so this will be a test. So what I do personally is I get little blending wedges because it's easiest to put that on with little blending wedges in my opinion. So I put just a little bit onto there. Don't know how well you can see that. There's just a little bit of a squirt. Get my mirror here. And then I apply that into the areas that are the most affected by dry skin. And then I'll apply the illuminating face primer everywhere else. Alright, and once you're done with your primer, then it's time for foundation. Now, I absolutely have no clue what kind of foundation this is because it doesn't actually say on the bottle. It's just for porcelain skin, which I think actually quite matches my skin tone. So you'll get a foundation brush here, and a lot of people like to put like the foundation onto their hand or something, but I've never gotten how to do that. And besides, I don't think it really turns out looking any different, so I just put a little bit directly onto the brush. This looks about like that. And honestly, that's not going to cover my entire face, so we have to do it a couple of times, but get a bigger mirror. And then you want to start pretty much anywhere. Usually work from the top and then go down, so that way when you're blending it down, it actually does blend. So let's see here. An important key to always remember when putting on foundation is to always blend down under the jawline and slightly into the neck as well, as this will give it a more natural progression down into your skin tone that's underneath. Now what we'll want to do next is, sometimes you can do concealer before. I tend to do concealer before just because it looks a little bit nicer without it having on top of the other skin, but we'll do it after the foundation this time. And so you'll take a little bit of a concealer stick, and I always take a concealer brush and actually brush it off because I don't like working with the concealer stick because I feel like it doesn't do its job properly. So just take a little concealer brush here. Another important thing to always have on hand once you've gotten all of this done is it's good to have some either makeup brush wipes or just baby wipes. Baby wipes work fantastic. I take off all my makeup with baby wipes. And you can use these to clean brushes too. I don't fully recommend it for a deep clean, so you'll want to do deep clean on them every so often. But when you know you're going to be using it the very next day, yeah, this will do the trick. Alright, and what I always like to do next is after I do all of my foundation, I put on the bronzer, which I use as a contour next, so that way I can have that done, and then I do my eye makeup. So let me get, this is my bronzer palette that I have. I usually go with this color right here in the corner. There's a whole bunch of different kind of bronzer colors though, but I just really like this one. Looks really well with my skin. And then you'll take it from the hairline and go just underneath your cheekbone. So that way when you're going down, it hopefully goes towards the corner of your mouth. So moving on to eye makeup, in which I still need my mirror. Don't know why I put that away. On eye makeup. Now, I have a primer here. And when you put it on, it goes on white, which is probably one of the weirdest eye primers I've seen, because I have one from Hard Candy that's like the same color as your foundation. So I guess it just all depends on who you buy it from. You just want to lightly apply that to the lid. You don't want to go too far up, and you also don't want to go too far out. Alright, now I've got the primer on, so now we're ready to do the eyeshadow. Now, for my Slytherin colors, I had found a palette from Hard Candy, which I actually really love. I've done Slytherin style makeup before with this. I just haven't done a tutorial on it. I absolutely adore the colors that they have in this particular set. I am not even sure what this set is called. I think maybe it's Ivy League, but it is absolutely darling. So when I open it up, I've got my green here. It's all baked eyeshadow, so it comes off. And then whitish silver and two different colors of grays over on the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, and if you look at it here, it has a little bit of a curve upward to the side. The upper curve makes it ready in order to go on your eye in a specific form. So you'll take it from the inner eye and then work its way out into the crease line. Takes a couple applications to quite get it to the color that you want. Once you've got that worked into the crease, then you want to take just a general brush like this. It's just a little bit of a round tip. I would call it an eyeshadow brush, but it's not a specific one with a curve upward. It just looks like that. And I'm going to take the silvery white from this palette and put it in the area where I didn't touch with the green. Since Slytherin colors are silver and green. And that way, Slytherin. And if it's a little bit uneven, then you can take that same exact brush, dip it back into the green, and gently add the flare one of the sides maybe didn't grab. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to set this aside for just the time being. We will be coming back to it momentarily. I'm going to use a couple of eyeliners that I have. They are felt tip markers. Yeah, felt tip eyeliner markers from Wet n Wild. This one is called a graphique, and as you can see, the tip here, it comes down on an angle a lot like a calligraphy pin and makes really nice for the wing eyes, which I absolutely adore doing. And then this one is just a regular tip like this, which allows for coloring and enhancing little areas that you may have missed. So we're going to gently take our graphic first, and we're going to go from under the eye here. About halfway, you'll start drawing a little line with the edge of that marker. And then you'll turn it around so the edge is pointing up, and gently dot your way to how you desire the length of your wing. Obviously this is going to be a really dramatic wing, and I was not expecting that, but I tend to do that. Now, you'll point the point into the inner eye and gently apply on the inner eyelid. And do it right against that lash line. So now you've got that, which actually looks really good. This is probably the best I've done my makeup in a while. And then you will gently, from the corner here, turn this back out, place it at the corner, and gently draw inward until you've got that. I'm really used to doing wing eyeliner, so I have a little bit of skill there. So what I like to do, it's the easiest quick fix in the book. I have a bowl of water over here, and what I'll do is I'll take a Q-tip and gently wet one end of the Q-tip, and then I kind of just squeeze the tip of soft cottony Q-tip out until I get a little bit of a thin edging, so that way when I go back in on this eye, because it doesn't have enough of a point because the bottom bled quite a bit, it will just gently remove the accidents without affecting other aspects of your makeup. So sometimes I will fill it in with the graphic marker, but because I'm in the mood, I will go ahead and fill it in with the felt tip. So now I'll go back into all that empty space here and just gently color it in one little section at a time. Aren't they beautiful? Now, if you notice, sometimes their wings may be slightly off, so you can go ahead and take the felt tip in and gently add a couple extra upper lines to even it out. And voila! The lighting's a little bit harsher on this side, so it makes it look like my makeup's off when it's not. Now what you want to do is pick up the hard candy again, go back into your greens, silvers, and grays, and we haven't done anything with the brow bone yet, nor the under eye. That's what we're going to work on right now. So you'll take your brush here again that we used before on the silver, and we're going to take one of the grays. I'm going to take this slightly silvery darker one, and I'm going to gently give a little bit of color right in here, just under my brow line. Now if you notice, I did leave a little bit of space here, just underneath that makeup before it hits there, so that way I can go in with a different color and be able to even it out. What we'll do is we'll take a small angle brush like this and take the other color that I didn't use, and now we're going to do the under eye. Gently get that dark, and then you'll start from the very most inner corner of your eye and gently color it in, going along the eyeliner as well. On the other side of the brush that I'm using, I have this little one, which is just kind of free-flowing. And what I'll do is I won't put any makeup on it. I'm just going to go in underneath and run my brush across everything that I just did there. So now that we've got that finishes off the eye look there, but then we still have a small problem because we have something else of our upper face that is not finished. It is the eyebrows. The eyebrows I seriously struggle with so much. We're going to do this today. So we gotta have eyebrows. Eyebrows are very important. So I have a couple different tools here that I'm going to be using. I have this little eyebrow kit, which I've never had much luck with, but I have a couple ideas on how to make it work a little bit better. So it comes with a little bit of an angle brush here, which I'm just going to put some of that dark brown on, and then I'm going to gently follow my already existing eyebrow line, because there's no point in giving myself eyebrows that I don't already have. For the rest of the eyebrows, I have an eyebrow coloring stick, which is a very nice light brown, which matches my hair quite a bit, and I'm just going to use this to fill in all of that extra area. Now, I personally am not a person for super bold looking eyebrows. I want them to look extremely natural. And on the other end of my eyebrow thing, I have a little bit of a brow brush here. And what I do is I actually work part of the makeup back out so it goes into the hair and makes it look much more natural as part of my eyebrow. So we're going to gently work that out here. And it also combs your eyebrow at the same exact time. So that's extremely helpful. And there we are. We've worked out some of the makeup. They don't look as extreme, which definitely helps with giving you a softer, nicer look. Now, make sure you have your bronzer out still, because what we're going to do is we're going to use this little brush here. I cannot remember its name for the life of me, but we're going to take the lightest color that I have in my little palette of bronzer here, and we're going to just gently get this brush a little bit covered here. And we're going to now lighten up the lines of the thick bronzer that I had on as my contouring, so that way it gives that a much more natural look rather than the dark. And there we go. Much more softer, but still obvious contouring, which highlights the cheekbones. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, here comes the next fun part. We get to do blush and highlights. So I've got a couple different blushes here. I'm going to go with a very pale pink just because I feel like that'd be much more Slytherin-y. I'll take a blush brush, which I have right here, and gently dab it in so that way you've got a little bit of pigment on there. And then you'll take your mirror and apply to the round part of your cheekbone here, just above the highlight, and then blend up along the cheekbone and a little bit down into the contouring, just a little bit on the edge there to give it a much more well-rounded, blended look. So now that you've got the blush on, you can see the obvious little bit of a pink glow to those rosy round cheeks at the front. And then you'll take any kind of highlighter that you have, and I'm going to go in with, what kind of brush do I want to use? I think I'm going to use the edge of my contouring brush here. And I'm just going to gently get the edge of my brush. And then you take that edge that you just darkened with the highlighter, and you'll gently run that under the eye, just on top of the blush. Continue with the highlights. You'll want to take just a little bit on the edge of that brush again and run it just down the middle of the nose with a little bit of extra glimmer on the tip in regards to that highlight. Make sure this looks okay. Now, one thing you're all probably screaming about to me right now is, you forgot eyelashes, you forgot mascara. I don't do fake eyelashes, but I do mascara. So I'm going to take one of my favorite kinds of mascara. It's a volumizing and defining mascara, and I will apply it to my eyelashes, because fake eyelashes, if I have real lashes, which I do, and they are gorgeous, then I'm not going to wear fake lashes. Besides that, they cost a whole lot of money. So do our mascara here. What I always find easiest is to put it right under where you'd like it. So put it right under that eyelash and then blink in to the mascara. And you find that it has a much more even application, because you're letting your eyelashes do the work for you. So once you've got that on, then what you'll do is, they have an eyebrow brush, which I think works fantastic for this kind of thing, because you got both sides that are supposed to be for your eye brush. You got the little comb, but I found that if you use the comb to separate your eyelashes after putting mascara on them, they don't stick together and the mascara doesn't clump, and it just looks so much nicer, and it actually feels nicer on your eyes as well. So you'll gently run the comb to that upper eyelid. Alright, and once you've got your eyelashes separated, you may notice, like I have, on this eye here, there's just a little bit of a line showing that there's a line of separation between the eyeliner and the eyelid. So what I'm going to do is take my felt pen again and gently fix all those areas. So what I do is, I actually take two different kinds of finishing powders, and I use them both. I have two different kind of kabuki brushes here. I really love the way kabuki brushes work. This one is a retractable kabuki brush, which you go like that, and kabuki brush. Pull it up, and then you can put the lid on it, and then slide it down into the container, and it's kept a nice, really compact thing. The other one I have is a very open kabuki brush with just a cute little nub on it. It feels so soft. Kabuki brushes, I'm always just like, I'll just rub it across my skin. I don't have to have anything on it. It feels so good. Kabuki brushes, I love them. They're adorable. They're perfect. They're everything you need in makeup. Start with this really, really loose finishing powder. It used to be the only thing I would use, but I found that I don't particularly care for it much anymore, at least not in heavy doses that I used to use it for. So you just gently get a little bit on there, tap off any excess, and rub on that forehead, because that's going to be a place where you definitely want makeup to stay, because if it starts melting off your forehead, it's going to, anyway, don't want that to happen. And then you'll apply a little bit of this one to under the chin as well, and then under the jawline and down into the neck. I use this one for here because it matches my skin tone a little better, so when I start to lighten it up using this one, it blends really well and makes it look like I am an absolute doll. Add a little bit to the base jawline here and a little bit over here. Underneath that chin. A tiny dash down the nose from the beginning of the T-zone and into that. Now I'll take my second finishing powder kind of thing. Sure. Soft Luminance. That's what it's called. At least the color. Now, I'll take my retractable kabuki brush on this one. And there's already some powder sitting here. It has a little lid on it that I could take off, but I rather just shake it out each time I use it. And then I will apply this everywhere that I haven't touched. Finally, on to the last part of our makeup tutorial. I have a couple lip palettes here, which we're going to do something that's going to be very Slytherin-esque. I have a little lip brush, and then I have a brush that I can use for my lip liner as well. This one's a retractable lip brush. You pull it out like this and put this in here, and then the brush is supposed to pop up right there. It's adorable, and I absolutely adore it. So much fun to play with. And I think I'm going to go with a darker makeup look on my lips today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little thing for lining here, and I'm going to use the second from the last, which is a very dark maroon color, which I think just fits Slytherin rather well in terms of darkness. So I'm going to gently put that around my lip line. Once you've got your lips accurately lined, you're going to take your lip brush, which came in pink, at least it did on mine, and gently get the darkest color over here and scoop some of that up. That's a little bit too much. Okay. And then color in our lips with that dark color. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this light peach one over here to help lighten my lips back out. And what you want to do is always onto like a piece of paper or anything that you might have. I do have a piece of paper over here. What is this? Oh, it's just that. Okay. And then you'll just gently blot your lips on there, so that way it takes off part of the darkness. Because you never want to have your lips just be anyway. Look at that. All that extra lipstick that you just don't need. Ever. Don't ever need that much. So now I've got the lipstick on, and for the final touch, you take your mist and set, and you're going to spray that all over your face. That way it looks absolutely delectable. And it will stay. Whew! Now you feel really wet at first. Don't worry, that's normal, because obviously you're wetting your entire face down. But it's going to dry, and then you are going to feel absolutely fantastic. So take a look. Look at that. Look at that. That just like subtle Slytherin that just makes you be like, yes, I'm ambitious, and yes, I will use you for my own gain. Guess what? I'm going to take over the world today, and you are going to help me do it. It's just the absolute perfect look, so thank you so much for joining me. We got plenty of Slytherin here. Although, of course, if you are like me, don't forget to put on your glasses afterward. And there you are, looking absolutely stunning and couldn't be any more Slytherin. Bye-bye!